Hey guys, what's up? It's me again, Tom from TTT Tom's Tech Time. Welcome to a brand new episode of mine. Today I am filming an abandoned apartment in the middle of nowhere, and it is so hot that I thought, okay, why should I not maybe share some of my hints on how to fly a drone in the heat with you guys? That's what I'm gonna do right now. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to never again miss any of my upcoming episodes. My first hint is to download an app. It's named Suncalc. It's the short form of Sun Calculator. It's really an amazing app for photography and videography. It basically shows you when the sun is going to rise and when it's going to set again. Then it shows you at which angle the sun travels. And if possible, then just avoid flying in these very extremely hot hours of the day. Instead, try to fly in the early morning or the late evening hours for two reasons. Firstly, it is of course not as hot. And secondly, usually the light looks way more cinematic if you fly in the early morning or the late evening hours. You're gonna have golden light, you're gonna have red light, and not just this plain light that shines from the top and makes things, I don't know, look a bit boring and a bit flat. Never leave your drone and your batteries and your accessories in the car for too long. Don't park the car somewhere in the sun and then head outdoors, do something else while having the fragile technology inside your car. Cars can easily, within only half an hour, heat up to temperatures of approximately 70 degrees centigrade, and this can heavily damage the technology. Next, it is important that you avoid rapid temperature changes. Don't take your drone and transport it in the nicely cooled down car and then immediately take it out and fly it in the heat, maybe even in sports mode, which is then the most aggressive of all modes. Because what happens is that all the materials, the components inside the drone, they will expand a bit because of the extra heat. And in the worst case, that can cause cracks to appear on the drone's body, or maybe even inside on the technology where we cannot spot any of the cracks. And worst case, you could damage the battery. If there is just one crack on the battery, you have to get rid of it, because flying with a damaged battery is extremely dangerous, because once the battery in flight fails, you know, the drone is going to go down. Or worst case, the battery could even catch fire, even though I think that's pretty rare, but you should always take a lot of care when it comes to temperature changes. Give both the battery and the drone some time to acclimatize, to get used to new temperatures, and then you'll usually stay safe and will be good to go. Make sure not to extend your drone's operating temperature too much. For example, most DJI drones are built for temperatures between 0 degrees and 40 degrees. That means that you should usually stay within these limitations. Of course, you can extend the temperature by going lower than 0 degrees or higher than 40, but you just have to take more extra care. Next, you should try to shorten your flights a bit. Try not to fly for a very long time, because that easily leads to an overheated drone and battery. And next, of course, after a flight, make sure to give both the drone and the battery some rest. Let them cool down somewhere in the shadow, of course. Don't put them in the sunlight. And that's always going to make sure that your drone doesn't overheat too badly in flight. Make sure not to record these never-ending long clips. Some people just take off with their drone, then they hit the record button, and then they start to film for 5, 10, 15 or whatever minutes. It's too much for the camera when it is hot outdoors. You should just, you look for a certain perspective, then you hit the record button, then you fly a certain path, for example, a line or a half circle, something like that, whatever looks cinematic, and then you turn the camera off again. That's how you keep the drone as cold as possible. Plus, that you should avoid using modes like the burst photography mode, because if you use the burst photography mode, especially when recording raw photographs, the camera heats up a lot too. So always take it easy when it is hot outdoors. Try to lower the tasks for the camera. That's going to make sure that the camera survives for a long time. A major mistake that some drone pilots make is they take their overheated drone after a flight and then they hold it in front of, for example, an AC or some other cooling device. That is something you have to avoid because condensation can build up inside the drone and the battery, and already the thought of having water inside this device, I don't know, that gives me the creeps. So avoid all these rapid temperature changes, whether from hot to cold or from cold to hot. It's dangerous. Don't forget to subscribe right here and right now, otherwise you'll miss out on so much cool stuff. So many upcoming videos. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon too to get a notification.